Is Tengah the next Punggol or is it something even bigger? Hi, my name is Shelvin. Welcome back to the channel again, and today in this video, I'm doing a full-on research on Tengah because I feel that it's such an underrated district. There's so much hype going around like Pioneering, Bella Bay, the Lentor area, but no one is talking about Tengah specifically. To me, right, if I only had one chance to buy a property, right, I would buy in Tengah itself. And let me explain why, okay? So, firstly, for those that do not know or those that do not understand Tengah yet, you just think that it's a very ulu place in the western area of Singapore. What is Tengah? Okay, Tengah have a few plans coming up. It is the latest housing township built by our government to support the western transformation, the economic activities there. Okay, so a total of 42,000 housing would be built, and 30,000 of them would be HDB and 12,000 would be private and EC. And as of 2025, end of 2025, about 14,000 houses HDB has already been completed. Okay, for infrastructure wise, it would be the first car-free, maybe not the first, but it will be a car-free town with all the house right being located 10 minutes walking distance to an MRT station, which is quite amazing given that the oil prices are so high now. Like 去吃油站要你的命. Okay, and it sits beside Jurong Lake District and the Jurong Innovation District. So primarily, I believe the government planned Tengah in such a way to support all the economic activities there. Okay, so why this matters? Why this video matter to you? Okay, because most of the time when I'm discussing with my clients their next plan of move, right, I'll always bring up Tengah as an option for them. And from a home buyer perspective, right, they will feel that is it too inconvenient? Is it not developed enough yet for me to stay? Are there enough schools for me? Will there be a lot of construction going on? If I buy in so early and I have to tahan the construction noise for the next 5 to 10 years, which are all very valid point. And from an investor standpoint, right, it would be, is it worth buying in at a much lower PSF, as we all know, and will I be able to capitalize on it in the next 5 to 10 years? And if I'm able to capitalize on it, right, how much would I be able to capitalize on it? So that question, to summarize in a sentence, is does the early inconvenience create a better long run entry? Okay, which I will try to answer today by comparing it to our last township that was built, which is Punggol. So if you all understand Punggol, right, Punggol has a whole transformation up, and it happened over the past 10 to 15 years. So over these 10 to 15 years, our government actually focused on 4 different dimensions. The first would be the housing supply delivery, second would be the transportation rollout, thirdly is the community infrastructure, your CC and your schools, and lastly would be the surrounding employment. And if you are familiar with it, it will be the Punggol Digital District. Okay, so let's start off with Punggol first, the proof of concept. Why I believe Tengah is similar based on this or even better. Let's look at the timeline over here. 2007, 2010, 2011, 2020, and 2020, 24, and 25. Okay, I will not bore you too much into this, but a few main points, right, moving on to the next one, would be actually Punggol transformation, or the thought of Punggol transformation happened even way earlier at 1996 National Day Rally. But the prices only start to shoot up when the real transformation began, which is the injection of HDB housing supply at 2007. Okay, so before that, Punggol price remains relatively flatline, which I will show you later. But once they start the injection and the pushing of transformation throughout the years, right, you will see there's TP, there are SS, there's Waterway Point, there's One Punggol, which led on to the greater transformation of the Punggol Digital District. So all the infrastructure housing built, right, was to support the jobs that will eventually be created in the area. And what impact did it have on the property prices? Let's see. Okay, so this is Punggol resale performance. We're not talking about new property as a data angle. Punggol HDB prices, right, grew about 160% over the past 15 years, whereas for their private resale, it grew about 137%. So you tell me, showing everywhere also the same one, everywhere also got growth, also got transformation, the price also increased. That is is why, right, I did a comparison between Punggol and the more prime and mature area, and Punggol against areas that have no transformation. If you look at this chart, right, Punggol, Queenstown and Novena, would you agree with me, right? Punggol is OCR area and Queenstown is RCR area and Novena is a CCR area. But you look at the price growth since 1996 all the way till 2005, Punggol appreciated the most by 184%. And surprisingly, right, Queenstown, which is RCR area, RCR meaning you're just right outside the city area, so you're like city fringe, only appreciated by 64%, and Novena appreciated 156%. Okay, and we compared Punggol against similar districts which are in the outside core central region like Toa Payoh and Woodlands. Okay, Toa Payoh only appreciated by 62% and Punggol didn't appreciate. The prices actually went down by quite a fair bit. Okay, so my point here is the transformation that is rolled out in phases, right, actually pushed Punggol to be one of the best performing districts over the past 20 years. And yes, I do see similarities in Punggol and Tengah in such a sense, and I will show you why. Okay, understand that Punggol was rolled out in phases in terms of housing, in terms of infrastructure, LRT, in terms of accessibility, TPE connecting to city, and lastly, the employment nodes that were being created. Tengah, right, is similar if not more massive. Why? Because Tengah tapped into the Western transformation, and the Western area is the biggest area in Singapore. And Western transformation is not just the second CBD alone. Western transformation includes Jurong Lake District, Jurong Innovation District, and the Tuas Spot. And Tengah's strategic role, right, is that residential support that will support these three districts all together. Okay, so it is very well positioned to take advantage of all this transformation in the next few years. Okay, on top of that, if we were to compare the number of jobs created, right, the West area has far more jobs that will be created than Punggol Digital District. So once you understand the magnitude of the West transformation, next would be the connectivity that links everything together. So if you look at this map over here, Tengah is just right at the doorstep of Jurong Lake District and Jurong Innovation District, and the MRT line that will link everything together would be the new Jurong Region line. Okay, there's 25 stations across the full line and it connects to 3 interchange. In addition to that, right, it links all the household within a 10 minutes walking distance to an MRT station. So which stage are we at now? Targeted completion of the Jurong Region line will be 2028 to around end 2029 if there are no delays. So in the next 2 to 3 years, you will see everything being ready or functional. So if you can afford to wait for the 1 to 2 years or 2 to 3 years, it is almost ready if there's no delay, of course. But the government is efficient, so don't have to worry about that. Okay, but even without the MRT line, you already have bus and road connectivity. Okay, the Tengah bus interchange opened about 2 years back on 21st July 2024, which connects you to Bukit Batok West, Bukit Gombak and Beauty World. And for those of you that understand, Beauty World itself is already a transportation hub. Okay, so it is very well connected, just that the MRT will be an added bonus to the already developing Tengah. So for amenities wise, I wouldn't say you are spoiled with choices, but they are coming up in phases as well. You have Giant Kofu in the area, you have the Tengah bus interchange, you have Park Point that was recently completed with a neighborhood center, polyclinic and 40 plus shop. And on top of that, right, you have 8 preschool opening and 6 more expected by first quarter 2026. And for those of you that keep track with all the news, right, you understand that ACS is moving there as well. I believe our government will not just pluck out a very prestigious school and throw in a very ulu area. There must be a reason for that. And I believe that reason is to make Tengah more attractive. And my baseline is, right, wherever the government put their money or their plans in, just follow. Don't think so much. Really don't think so much. Okay? So after understanding the first 3 dimensions of the transformation arc of Tengah, the last would be the housing supply. Okay? For those of you that do not know, and surprising to me as well, Tengah has one of the highest BTO over subscription rate since 2020. So if you are a believer that HDB upgraders will drive property prices up, Tengah is the place that you would want to be. Okay, just for context, Punggol itself has 49,000 houses in total. Tengah is not that far, 42,000. But if you look at the magnitude of transformation in the West, Tengah itself itself might be in an undersupply situation, okay, because the jobs created would be so much more than Punggol Digital District. Okay, so demand has persisted despite early stage inconvenience. So people that buy in there, I would say they have a long-term mindset and they believe in pricing in future maturity and not the current convenience. And I hope that answered the question for those of you that are looking to buy into Tengah. Okay, so this is just a full comparison matrix side by side for Tengah and Punggol. Master plan identity of the town: Tengah would be a car-free, smart town, green connector, whereas Punggol will be a eco town with waterway identity. If you have been to Waterway Point, looks very nice, a very good place to jog in the evening and always crowded lah. Okay, phase housing delivery for Punggol, it was staged from 2007 all the way to the early 2020 with a total of 49,000 housing, and Tengah is pretty similar. 14,000 of the housing has already been delivered and expected to have a total of 42,000 housing. Okay, so there is phases in the transit in terms of transportation, but we are almost there, not that far off. Same for Punggol, there's a lot of LRT and MRT extension, okay, and strong placemaking, which are all the amenities which I'll not talk about, and the nearby employment node. This is something for you to focus. JLD and GID has around 95,000 jobs created. I think this is a typo. Total should be around 200,000, whereas for Punggol Digital District, it's only 28,000, which is 10 times more. So people will always want to stay near their work area. Imagine the number of jobs created, how much housing supply is required to meet the housing demand in the future. Okay, so Tengah is planned to anchor as the residential for the western corridor, whereas for Punggol itself is the northeast corridor. Okay, so this is where Tengah is ahead of Punggol in its early years. At the same 5 years mark, right, Punggol already has waterway open, but it has limited retail and amenities. LRT is operational, but MRT extension is still years away. For the employment angle, Digital District, it is not yet conceived. Only I think in the past 2-3 years, it's become more vibrant. Its smart town feature is retrofitted and it's not built in, and the infrastructure delivery pace is not as fast as Tengah. Whereas for Tengah, at the 5 years mark, right, the car-free town centre has already been planned since day one. I think our government take a reference from their past project and they try to improve on it lah. Okay, and JID and JLD is already partially operational, not like Punggol Digital District where it is recently conceived. JID and JLD is already partially operational and not at its full scale yet. And if you were to add in Tuas, right, the magnitude is just massive lah. So bus interchange wise already operational, and the Jurong Region 9 is confirmed in just 1 to 2 years time. So if you're buying into something new there, don't expect to get a keys the next day lah. You will still have to wait for the 1 to 2 years, which just nice coincide with the opening of the MRT line. So to sum it all, if I'm an investor today, Tengah presents a long-run infrastructure and upgraded demand story, which you will capitalize not immediately, but I will say in the next 5 years, you are very safe. And the entry price for Tengah right now, right, is the real first mover advantage. It's not the Vela Bay kind of first mover advantage. Before Vela Bay, there are already many condos already. It just so happened that the rest of the condos are older and Vela Bay is the newest lah. But look at the trade-off. If you buy into Bayshore Vela Bay at 3,000 PSF, right, how much do you need to sell in the future just to make 200,000 profits? As compared if you buy into Tengah Garden Residence at 2,001 PSF, how much would you need to sell to make 200,000 profit? Same amount of profit earned, but your entry price, your capital, your risk is more controlled and on the lower side. Okay, so there are still risk factors for you to monitor. Firstly is the timeline risk, where the Jurong Regional Line delivery might not be on time. So it might not be 1 to 2 years, it might be 2 to 3 years. But I wouldn't say it's that much of a risk. Next would be the liquidity risk. Because HDB have MOP, your private do not have MOP. So if you're looking to buy a private there, you might run into the risk that the demand, although it's there, they are not ready yet. You have to hold for a few more years before they are ready to upgrade. Okay, and from own stay point of view, okay, own stay is more emotional, I would say. Of course, Tengah is built as a car-free and greenery town, okay, but it's still not 100% livable yet. So when I mean livable, means you will still see construction on the road, the MRT is not ready, so you move into Tengah now, it will feel a bit out of place because everything is not functioning at 100% capacity, okay. So these are the trade-off you would have to live with for at least the next 3 to 5 years if you intend to buy into Tengah now, okay. But the upside is massive lah. Of course, if you compare to the Bayshore area, Bayshore you have a sea view lah. Tengah you will see the greeneries. So I would say drive around, go and understand the area more, go and understand the distance from Tengah to the second CBD to Jurong Innovation District and even to Tuas. Then you will know how convenient it is for people that intend to work in the second CBD or the Western economic hubs in the near future. Okay, so my final conclusion is Tengah is not too early. Okay, if you buy the Punggol in 1996, it's still too early because everything is still in the talks. Tengah is towards its maturity stage in the next, I would say, 5 to 10 years safely. But Tengah presents a very strong case, right? If you're still looking for affordable housing in Singapore where you can enjoy its maximum upside. Okay, so I feel Tengah is early in its convenience. Okay, not like very early, but early in its convenience, meaning bus stop, everything is there already, the roads are there already, just wait a couple of years for the MRT. But late enough, right, in planning for the long-term game to be visible. Okay, I always believe if you want to earn a lot of money in property, hold it for a long term, wait for all the transformation to happen, then you sell it. Instead of trying to spot property and try to flip it in the next 4 years, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. Because we all don't have a crystal ball. You do not know whether your price can appreciate that much, right, in that short of a time span. So fundamentals have to be sound. And Tengah is the right area to be for 2026. Okay, I will end off my video by saying this. If you are comparing all the OCR launches, do give Tengah a shot to understand what it is about. At the upcoming Tengah Garden Residences, I'll be doing a video on that as well. But if you're keen to find out more about your upgrading journey or just investing in a new launch, do reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to assist you.